Welcome back, everybody. Well, hearing you have cancer can certainly be one of the scariest moments in your life, but we have a fighter and a survivor, Kristian Bayan, joining us, and she's going to share her strength at a special event tomorrow. She's putting this on. Everybody is invited to this. Good morning to you, Kristian.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's so good to see you and to have you on our air because, it takes a lot of bravery to speak about this, but we want to get right to it because it's such an important story to share. So you had no family history of cancer and you were diagnosed last year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was actually diagnosed this year back in February, and you can imagine it was a pretty big shock to my family because we don't have breast cancer history in our family, and I'm actually the youngest of 5 and lived a pretty active lifestyle. So it was really hard for us to believe that me being so young, I'm the one that would have gotten cancer. But I chose to really take this on as a gift and do some good in the world with it. And since being diagnosed this year, I've actually undergone major surgery. I went through chemotherapy treatments and I have one more surgery to go, but I sit in front of you cancer-free.
Wow.
And excited to advocate for young adults with breast cancer because actually as a young adult, I noticed all the challenges we actually go through that are unique from other cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought it was important to bring to light and talk about this because it's not talked about enough amongst my demographic.
And Kristian, do you mind sharing, how old are you?
I'm 31 now.
31, okay. So diagnosed at such a young age, which I feel like so many people, at that age feel invincible, right? I mean, it's something that happens later in life, perhaps. I mean, you don't even think about mammograms until later. So tell us how that played a role. I mean, your age is like the start of so many things in your life, I'm sure. So this sounds like a big blow, but how have you overcome this?
Overall, my husband and I, we've really stuck to the facts and dealing with what we know versus being caught up in the drama that the big C kind of brings along. But we really just kept choosing to see it as a gift and looking for what the opportunities were in these moments. So it was a really empowering moment for me to get it and just see that there's more to life outside of just my career and refocus some things there.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you actually say cancer was one of the best things that could happen to you. What do you mean by that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so before I was diagnosed, you could say I was a workaholic.
Okay.
If I wasn't working, I was definitely thinking about work all the time. And being diagnosed, it really allowed me, it actually forced me to stop working. And I had this time to really think about how I wanted to live life because what I was currently doing really didn't work anymore. And since my diagnosis, I've started to shift away from this career-driven mindset, which is really popular and common among 30-something-year-olds. And I started to focus more on what other positive things can I do in the world and in the community. And I noticed that I really do have a passion to advocate for these young adults because of what we went through. And so it's been a gift to shift away from that high career-driven mindset into something more into a community mindset.
Wow. Yeah. So turning to community instead of work, which I think so many people find themselves thinking, oh, I'm working so hard to make it. But, you're learning there's more to life than that. That's amazing, Kristian. And
Exactly.
You're doing an event tomorrow. I do want to make sure we point that out. What is your event? Tell us all about it.
So I'm really excited to share this because this is our first annual Pink Strength fundraiser.
Okay.
We've never done it before. It's going to be held at 1904 Fitness in Kearney Mesa from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And like you mentioned before, it's a free public event for everyone. And it's going to be a good time because we're going to have music, there's prizes, there's food, and all the money we raise during this time is going to be for the local nonprofit Loving You Through It.
Yeah, I want to hear more about this. What is Loving You Through It?
So Loving You Through It is this nonprofit down in Chula Vista owned by Snooki Rico. She owns Rico's on 3rd, and she's also a breast cancer thriver. And I actually went to them after I lost my hair, and I learned so much about what they do. And the main things that they do is they give free services to oncology patients or cancer patients like me, such as shaving your head or getting a wig and scarves and tying your scarves. They actually gave me this and taught me how to tie this.
I love it.
And they do so much for their community that when we learned about who they were. My husband and I, along with our friends, we really wanted to give back to them because we saw how easy it is to give back to big organizations because of their national presence. But it's really these local organizations that make the biggest difference with cancer patients today because they're with us one-on-one and loving us through what we're going through.
That's
So we
beautiful.
wanted to make sure we did something for this organization.
Yeah, you always hope that, the big ones do help individuals one-on-one. It's nice to hear that you found that in our community. So that's amazing. And hopefully people can come out and support. Kristian, you are so strong. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And real quick, before we go, where are you now in treatment? Are things looking good for you?
Things are looking great. I finished chemo earlier in August, and I have one more surgery, and then I'll have all the major things done for this year.
Oh, Kristian, we wish you the very best and hope for a great turnout for your fundraiser tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.